Hi, you guys. Coach Tiffany here. Okay, so Facebook has been my nemesis this morning. I was just on live with a friend trying to, we're going to do a coaching class together in her group, and it was not working. And then finally we got it working. Woo! And then I tried to come on live on my Facebook, and it would just say, not going to work. So anyway, I'm on my phone. Hopefully the quality's still okay and the sound's okay. If you are hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. The topic today is body hatred versus body respect. The reason that I'm bringing this up is I just feel like lately I've been hearing from so many people, I hate my body, and I'm at war with my body, right? Or I'm fighting my body. And even people who have done some work around that negative self-talk or that inner critic, saying things like, yeah, I really have just pushed my body to the limit, to the max. Oh, somebody's on. Hi, Heather. I can't see who it is, but welcome. Say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. So I'm talking about body hatred versus body respect. And I've just been hearing from so many women lately, I hate my body. And, it's heartbreaking for me because I've been there too, and I know the pain of that. And I also have learned through my coaching work and through learning about intuitive eating and my own personal journey and all of the research out there that being, having this kind of oppositional relationship with our body and fighting our bodies actually contributes to doing things like eating in a way that feels out of control, or eating emotionally, or being disconnected from our body so we don't know what our body actually needs, right? Eating things that don't support our wellness, like all the time, right? Versus, and I'm not talking about like having a piece of delicious wedding cake or something like that. I'm talking about we all know the feeling of taking the whole bag of potato chips and just like downing them, right? Or all of the ice cream and then beating ourselves up. So that cycle of eating in a way that feels out of control and then beating ourselves up, it's actually the beating ourselves up that keeps us in that cycle, because then we feel bad about ourselves, right? We stay disconnected from our body. We don't want to think about, it makes us avoid thinking about our health and our wellness, and it keeps us from taking care of ourselves because we feel bad that we don't deserve to be cared for, right? Because we aren't good enough. So looks like some more people are hopping on. If you're coming on, just say hello in the comments. Say where you're watching from, and of course, any thoughts about body hatred. So, body shaming is something that a lot of us participate in, and we're actually encouraged to do that in our culture, right? The like picking at, I've got lumps, or I've got, whatever it is, right? Like my boobs sag now that I've had kids, or my arms are wobbly, or all of these things that we say to ourselves, or a lot of times it's around, I'm fat because I ate all this stuff. And it's not to say that our eating doesn't impact our weight. It's that it's important to recognize that there are so many other reasons for this. And by beating ourselves up, we're keeping ourselves in that cycle. We're actually making it worse. So how do we shift that? So a lot of times people say, oh, love your body, right? And, oh, hello, I can see that somebody's coming on. So how do we love our bodies? And that can be a really big leap if you have felt ashamed about your body or your weight because you feel that you are an emotional eater or that you have no willpower, right? So there's a lot of pieces to this. So one is maybe have the goal be to respect your body instead of loving your body. So respecting our bodies means taking care of them, right? And it also means honoring them and appreciating them. And it means knowing that there's more to the story than just, what I ate last night. So genetically, we're all different. Some people are genetically predisposed to have more challenges with weight. Some people, just have a different frame, right? So there are women who are 6 feet tall and slender, and then there's women who are 6 feet tall and larger bodied. There's very petite women. My daughter's grandmother is like 92 pounds and like 5 feet, right? Like she's like the tiniest person in the world. And she actually has been losing too much weight. So her doctor told her to eat ice cream. Like, oh, what a problem to have. Anyways, so the idea is to set a goal of respecting our body rather than trying to make that leap from hating my body to loving my body, right? And then letting go of judgment. and shame. And that is so challenging because we've been told that we're emotional eaters and that we are broken and that we have no willpower and that it's something wrong with us. Well, we're told that by the dieting industry, which, they profit $166 billion every year off of us feeling bad about our bodies and off of us feeling like there's something wrong with us, right? So rejecting the dieting culture and honoring instead that our bodies need to be cared for, right? And so sometimes that's going to look like eating the bag of chips, right? Because sometimes our bodies are wanting that. Like we're having a craving, we are having a desire to eat that, we're looking for soothing. But that doesn't mean we're bad. It also looks like getting in good nutrients and good nutrition, right? So getting in veggies, getting in lean protein, or I don't even know why I say lean protein. I don't believe in that. Getting in protein, lean or otherwise. So starting to nourish ourselves. And it looks like doing things like when we're having a rough day, instead of being like, oh, I suck, instead saying like, oh, I'm having a rough day and I need some extra love. I need some caring, right? I need to be gentle with myself. I need to speak to myself in a kind way. So letting go of that judgment can be pivotal. It's the very first step. When people ask me, what can I do to start eating intuitively? I tell them to let go of judgment, because there's a reason that you're eating in a way that feels out of control. And it's not because you're bad or because you don't have any willpower. Because if you look up willpower, it actually doesn't. If you look up studies on willpower, it actually doesn't matter. People who eat in a way that feels out of control has nothing to do with how much willpower they have. So, and I would go so far as to say it actually might be because of dieting that you're eating in a way that feels out of control. So when we diet, when we restrict, we increase our desire for food. There's studies about this. We increase our hunger signals, both subjective and objective. So both the way that we feel, but also the actual hormones that are happening are increased, right? So we have an increased appetite. The way that food tastes actually changes. So some of you have heard me talk about this. There's a study by in the World War II time of these young men who were conscious objectors of the war, so they didn't go. They had them do a diet. They restricted them, and then they watched what happened. And these men started collecting cookbooks and recipes. These are 20-something-year-old men in the 40s that were obsessed with cookbooks. So, and they were only restricted to 1,700 calories a day. So I know a lot of women who have restricted a lot more than that. People, not just women, but a lot of women. So then what happens is you have an increased desire for food. Your body gives you more and more signals. I need this food, right? And then we eat in a way that feels out of control. And what happens then is then we have the shame spiral. So then we feel ashamed of ourselves, right? And then the more we feel ashamed of ourselves, the more we feel we need to eat to feel better. Dieting actually is directly proportional to like emotional eating. The more you diet, the more chance you have of eating eating emotionally, trying to soothe your emotions with food. It's pretty interesting. They have actually done studies of like people who never diet, people who have dieted in the past, and people who are currently dieting. And the people who were currently dieting had the highest prevalence of emotional eating. So we increase our emotional eating. And the other thing that happens is that we end up using food as a way to self-silence. So we use it in a way to silence our needs and our desires and our wants. So if dieting actually increases our desire for food, it increases our prevalence of eating in a way that feels out of control or emotional eating, and it increases our use of food to silence our needs, it's this really bad cycle, right? So it's actually likely that your feelings of out of control eating are related to that cycle. The other thing a lot of times it's related to is stress, right? So that's, again, that self-silencing. So you might be under stress, and maybe what you need is a break. Maybe you need some exercise. Maybe you need to go for a walk outside. Maybe you need out of a toxic relationship, or maybe your job is slowly killing you, right? So instead of addressing that need, we are using food in a way to silence or stuff that need. So these things are all things that contribute to why we eat in a way that feels out of control and why we have shame, right, around our bodies. So instead of blaming ourselves, removing judgment, looking at what's going on in our lives, looking at it with curiosity, looking at what is it that I really want and why, is a good step toward respecting and honoring our bodies. Getting attuned again to our bodies is another way that we respect our body, because we have to be able to be in tune with what's going on with our body and aware of our body and the signals in order to meet those needs. I don't know if you guys can hear this. They're working on my deck and it's so loud. Anyway, so I hope that this has helped you to start thinking about that your body deserves to be respected and that it's not your fault. And letting go of shame will really help to start to make progress in healing your relationship with food. I'm really feeling fired up about this because like I said, I've had so many people say to me, I just hate my body. And they think that the solution is to try to restrict food and lose weight so that they can look a certain way. But that's not where we get love from our bodies, right? We get love for our bodies by treating our bodies with care and respect. And the more we do that, the more well we feel, the more we have the stamina that we need, and the more we can address some of these other issues that might be causing us to eat in a way that feels out of control. So there's a lot of other issues, right? There's stress, there's lack of sleep, there's your gut microbiome makes a difference in what cravings you have. There are, like I said, there's genetic factors. Some people have food intolerances, right? And that might be affecting the way that you maintain your weight. So what are some other ways that we can show respect for our bodies? So, allowing yourself to take breaks is a big one. Meditating, other types of self-awareness practices are really helpful in honoring our bodies. Getting body work done, so acupuncture, massage, going to a float spa, going in a hot tub, right? All of those things. Even showering actually feels really good. It can be really clearing. What are some of the other ways? Eating well, eating some good food, getting good nourishment in your body, eating regularly. This is something I feel like people say, I eat too much all the time. But then when we look at what they're actually eating, they're not eating much at all during the day. And then they're eating a lot at night, because that's a restriction cycle as well. So if you're not eating enough during the day, your body's going to have the pendulum swing and say, we need to eat these calories. We need to get enough in. So making sure you're eating really regularly and that you're honoring your hunger. Let's see, what else? Respecting your body by moving your body, right? So getting fun movement, not pushing your body to do things that doesn't feel good, but instead, having fun. I posted a video today about a woman who's doing belly dancing, and she's amazing. And she's clearly someone who has embraced her body type and has decided that she's gonna, live life and do what she wants to do. And she has trained her body to do really amazing things despite her size. She's like a little curvier woman. And in fact, she's used that to her in part of her movement. And then she's obviously having a ton of fun moving her body in a way that really feels awesome. So, that's kind of my response to I hate my body. This is what it could be like, right? We could embrace our bodies and work with our bodies to do amazing things, right? So another thing is a lot of times it's clothing. So getting clothes that fit and are comfortable. I was just talking with a friend recently who was like, oh gosh, I haven't allowed myself to buy bras because I feel like I should be a smaller size. And how important is it to have a bra that fits, right? It affects our posture. It affects our back. We can have back pain from having an ill-fitting bra. We can have pain around our rib cage. It's constricting. So some people actually believe that bras constrict in a way that makes it so our lymph fluids can't move through. And certainly if you're wearing a bra that's too small, it's definitely going to contribute to that, right? Preventing blood flow. You might not be breathing as deeply because you've got this bra that's constricting you, right? So this is just some, throwing it out there, just ideas of ways that you can start to show your body respect. But it is something that we need to be intentional about. And when we use that language in our heads over and over and over that we hate our bodies, it's no wonder our bodies are struggling to, be well, right? So I don't expect you to necessarily make the leap to I love my body, although sometimes I do tell people about the Ho'oponopono practice, which is I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Sometimes that can feel in alignment, right? But you know, I do work, when I work with people, I do talk about respecting our bodies, and that's an expectation that I have. And I don't, you know, I'm not judgmental around food or bodies, and I expect that, you know, that is going to be part of our process, is like learning how to let go of judgment against ourselves and respect our bodies. So I hope this was helpful. I'm just a little fired up because I hate to see you guys hurting, and I've been there and I totally can relate. Please know that, you know, I understand and I've been there, and that it's not an overnight process. But today, next time you hear yourself saying, oh, I suck, you know, or my body sucks, or I hate my body, you know, give yourself a little respect and kindness instead, and know that your body has carried you through all of your years on this earth and through a lot of pain and challenges and brought you to this place. So let's give our bodies a little bit of appreciation today, and start to care for our bodies in a gentle and kind way. All right. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. I'm not going to be doing the Thursday coaching. Nobody seemed to like that time. I did post a poll, and it was on Friday night, and everyone said Friday night was a good time. I suspect it was only seen by a few people who were watching on Friday night when I posted the poll. So if you would comment, if you watch this through the end, comment, of course, any thoughts, feelings, reflections after watching this, but also if you would comment what works well for you in terms of coaching, Facebook Live coaching. I think I'm going to be switching it to 11 o'clock on Tuesday. And then I may be also doing, a lot of people wanted an after 8 o'clock. So I'll be committing to doing the Tuesday at 11, since that seems to be the time I get the most engagement. But I will also be hopping on when I feel inspired, probably on like Wednesday and Thursday nights. Not every night, but Wednesday or Thursday, around 8:30, for those of you who are a little bit more night owls, or maybe the kids have gone to bed and you have a little downtime. So I really want to honor everyone in the group, but I am designing my new schedule because I'm leaving the hospital, so I can have my schedule be whatever I want it to be, and I really need uninterrupted content writing time, because I want to be putting out more and more content for you guys. And oh hi, I think I saw that Stephanie hopped on, and Helena, oh hi, Helena's on here. A few other people maybe were watching. It's hard for me to tell for some reason on this who's on and who's posting comments and things. So anyways, yes, so I'm leaving the hospital. I'm so excited to be doing this work fully. This is definitely what lights me up. I feel so fulfilled by this work, and I know that this is my calling. So yes, so I'm leaving the hospital. Friday is my last day, last shift, and I will be kind of moving things around. So I'm going to play around with that. So thank you for those who participated in the poll. If there are days and times that work better for you, you can comment them here below or find the poll, and that's still open. Also, I wanted to address, I talked with some friends and really thought about it, and I'm not going to open up the group to men at this point, but if I get more requests and I feel that they will be a good fit for the group, I may open that up in the future. We'll see about that. Anyway, so thank you so much for being here. I hope that this video was helpful, and if you didn't get a chance to, if you weren't on at the beginning, hop back on and watch some of the tips and some of the information about why having body hatred actually contributes to increased weight gain and increased eating in a way that feels out of control. So it's actually part of the cause. You know, chicken or the egg, right? But it doesn't help. So let's put that down. Let's put those weapons down, and instead pick up some non-judgmental loving kindness for ourselves. All right. Oh, thank you. Stephanie said, congrats on your next step. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, and it just feels completely right. So thank you all for encouragement and support through all this time. And I look forward to seeing how we'll grow together in the future. Take care.